I'm going.
I'm glad.
Okay, so when you guys first got the roles of Jenna and Matt, what first went through your head?
Well, I knew that I wasn't going to have to ask my mom for any more money. I'm just kidding. All right. What first went through my head, you know, honestly, I was so grateful not to have to endure pilot season. Because pilot season is one of the most...
It's pretty grueling.
Yeah, it's very turmoil time for an actor. You know, you have 5 or 6 auditions a day, and so after your 6th audition for the Vampire Diaries, and you screen test in front of 30 people you've never met in suits, and
yeah, it's an intimidating process.
Oh, it's such a great feeling. I found out on St. Patty's Day.
So did I.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I was in Canada when I found out. And I had 4 auditions that day, and a doctor's appointment. I was just like, oh, I found out at night, and I was so happy. And I mean, I was really happy because when I auditioned for Jenna, the character breakdown was, you know, quite a few years older than I am. And so it was really cool for me, like, to be able to attach to that character and say, oh, like, I was right for this, you know? It was just a really good, excited feeling.
That's good. What's it like to work on a show with vampires, since it's, like, so huge right now?
Well, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. You know, first of all, I want to thank the Twilight people for kicking down the door for us to come barging through.
Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing about working on a vampire show is that basically anything's possible. So you know, at any given time when you read that script, the unthinkable could be possible. You know, I mean, not in the sense of supernatural. I mean, we're a little different than that show, but I mean, you know, vampires, they can't step through door frames without being invited in. Like, I actually learned a lot about vampires just being on the show.
Yeah, there's some weird things. Like, I was watching it, and like, there's like every vampire thing I see as new.
Yeah,
rules.
each show kind of they kind of have their own set of rules. Really, I've noticed with a lot of the newer vampire shows. But I think, you know, with the Vampire Diaries, they've done a really good job with all of their little like quirks and things they can and can't do to service the greater story. Right. So that's really cool because, you know, it is a show with vampires in it, you know, but there's so much like just going on within like the relationships in the show that it just kind of fuels it. And
well, I feel like our writers, Kevin Williamson and Julie Plec, have just definitely redefined the vampire, the common vampire in today's world, because they surrounded these vampires with so many real-life experiences where you almost start to believe that they really are vampires.
Yeah, they really feel like they could just be a part of,
which is great because we're a part of that real world. We're like the existence around their existence, so I mean, I'm thrilled.
Do you guys ever wish that like you played a vampire on the show?
That's really funny.
Well, commonly asked question. You know, we were talking about that, but like she and I, neither one of us have tattoos, and you know, once you read that in the script that your character is a vampire, that's,
you know, there's no going back to it.
Yeah.
You're either gonna be a vampire or get staked in the chest.
And then you only get to die twice.
Although vampires are constantly sexing it up though, so you know, maybe.
So that's one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the cool thing about the Vampire Diaries that I mentioned before is that with each character, like we saw with, you know, Matt's sister Vicky on the show when she turned into a vampire, it was so interesting to see, you know, because she was a drug addict in reality, you know, in her human life, watching her transition into a vampire and the effect that had on her character. It's really cool, and I would love to see, I mean, I love playing Jenna the Mortal, but I mean, seeing, you know, what crazy traits would come out in Jenna or Matt's character, that'd be cool about turning into a vampire. But I think there's a lot that's still going to happen with our storylines as humans. So
as humans, maybe they might intertwine a little bit.
Yeah, we're hoping that we get to work together at some point.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, we wish we had spoiler alerts.
Can there be anything like particular that fans are anticipating next season? Like, what's going to happen?
Well, not to open up too much, but I would
fired.
I would definitely say, I mean, I've added to the list. I think that fans can definitely look forward to the emergence of Catherine's character.
Yeah, you know, I think that's the huge one in the finale. That probably was the most shocking.
It was the first time we'd seen Catherine in the flesh.
Yeah, we've always seen her in flashbacks, and literally, I think what was so great about that moment is that, you know, it's only been slightly alluded to that she's somewhere. Like they mentioned, you know, oh, we saw her in the 80s. Right. You know, and then all of a sudden, bam, she was like right there in everybody's face. So that's really cool about it.
You know, if you watch the show, you know that Elena and Catherine are kind of one and the same as far as the way that their appearance is.
Right. So she can really
so that kind of just opens up all sorts of doors
for second season. For people will think that she's Elena.
Deception.
Like one is Elena and one is Catherine.
Yeah.
I definitely saw that. I was like, wait, she wouldn't kiss Damon.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
What advice would you give teenagers hoping to make it into show business?
Well, I'm a big believer in, I mean, like, I went to film school, and I just think, like, passion, like, you have to want, like, you have to be certain that you need to be an actor because there's a lot of, like, rejection.
You should never just do it because you say, oh,
no, like, you have to really want it, and you need to, like, you know, really love it, and love to see good theater and good films, and, like, love stories. And
I'm a very fortunate person because I honestly, when I say this, I mean it 100%. Like, I love my life, and I love what I do for a living in my life. You know, because of what I do, I've been able to meet extraordinary people like Sarah Canning, you know, other actors that are seasoned. I mean, I've learned so much from being an actor that I would never go back and change it. And another little tip for young actors, something that really drove me when I was a kid, I found this awesome poem by Thoreau. And I'm just going to tell you it real quick. It's kind of dumb, but if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he's imagined, he will meet with success unexpected and common hours. So basically, I think if you can visualize what you want to do with your life, it's possible, because I think that our mind is the most powerful thing on this planet. And so if you think you can do it and you see it in your head and you actually visualize it and see what you're wearing, the color of the shirt, everything, I think that will happen.
And like take steps in pursuing it, you know, like really kind of take control of what you want to happen to you. So, you know, it's hard work. It's really hard work. And
I mean, I didn't put this together myself.
And I mean, you know, more in the acting realm of things.
Right. Yeah.
But
there's no teleprompters.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Really want it and really work for it.
Cool. And this is kind of an obscure question, but do you guys have any like outstanding prom moments that you have, since like MASH is really focusing on prom right now?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know.
I was actually prom king.
Well, yeah, he wins.
But I was from a town of like 3,000 people, and there were only like 300 students in the school.
Still though, that's huge.
I may or may not have rigged it, but I was still king.
Which is the important part. We don't call it prom in Canada. We
call it a season.
grad. It was season. We had, but I mean, I was on. I think the most important thing to remember is to just have fun, because it seems like a huge deal, and you know, it is like a really kind of a big event. You know, it's the end of what you're told to do in school, and now you get to go do what you want to do in school, or whatever you want to do with your life. And I was like on grad council, and we spent a year putting the whole thing together. And then that day, we realized, oh, you know, it's just one day. Just have fun, like relax. Just, you know, don't spend 7 hours on what you look like, and you know, just have fun with your friends. Like that's what it's.
You know, I would say enjoy the post prom more than the prom.
The post prom.
My post prom was amazing.
That's my sister's favorite. She's a senior.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, okay, last question. Who do you think Elena should be with? Damon or Stefan?
I'm gonna go Team Matt.
Of course.
I think, you know what, if Catherine and Damon could work it out, that'd be nice, and then, you know, Damon and Elena can have their thing. But, you know, it's the Vampire Diaries, and it's very dramatic, and it's not going to be that easy.
Right.
We'll see.
Both at the same
How about both? Okay. That's what Catherine did. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
Is there anything you'd like to add?
I'd like to compliment you on being a great little interviewer. Get a shot of her. Gonna see her on the news someday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think we're just really stoked. We're really excited to see what happens season 2.
I'm in Chicago at the W Hotel, which is amazing.
Yeah, very honored to be at the Upfronts.
Yes. And I'm also from Ohio. I'm from the Midwest, so I think it's awesome that I got asked to come to the Midwest and represent our awesome show. So.
Yeah.